Hello everyone and welcome to Sunup. I'm Lyndall Stout. We join you today from the field for an update on winter crops with Josh Lofton, our Extension Cropping System Specialist. And Josh, it's been an interesting few weeks of winter weather.
Yeah, we just don't really know what we're doing right now. You know, we're 60-degree one day and we have ice gumming on the ground the next day. So yeah, it has been a little sporadic, the weather. The good thing is as you start to look out over Oklahoma and we start to see some of the winter crops, they're still progressing very nicely. And all this rain, I know a lot of growers want to get in the field and it is time for that nitrogen fertilizer to go on our canola and our wheat. And I know folks are just ready to go and the moisture's holding a lot of them back, but it's going to be good, especially as we progress further on to that season. We're gonna be very glad that we have this deep profile soil moisture.
We talked a little earlier, some people actually wanted to kind of hold off raining for a little bit. I didn't think I would ever hear anybody say that in the years of drought, but here it is.
Very quietly, you know, we're not going to say it too loud, you know, maybe think it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it is about that time for the fertility to go out on our wheat. And a lot of growers are wanting to get out and start running acres on their fertilizer. And we've seen across a couple of different platforms, a lot of growers are finding those opportunities, but it's either those that have maybe missed a couple of rainfalls, those that have good frozen soils that their stuff is able to get across. But just recently at our all crops, talking to a lot of growers, they've just said it's just really been too wet to cross a lot of these fields.
This time of year, we usually talk about first hollow stem. It's maybe still a little early, but it's okay to start scouting?
Yeah, when you look at the models and if you go to the Mesonet website, you start tracking it that way, which is a great way to first start tracking it. It's getting close to that time. And as we see a lot of our wheat, you know, wasn't maybe some of the really early stuff might be getting close. A lot of our wheat was also planted later and really didn't get going in the fall. So we might be lagging behind a little bit, but once again, that's a great tool to say, okay, when do I need to start putting boots on the ground and actually checking that wheat? So our grazers that have had wheat out since, you know, August or early September, we might need to be a little bit more cautious on checking, but we still do need to, on all of our grazed acres, make sure that we're continuing to check for that first hollow stem and how that wheat's progressing.
You mentioned the All Crops Conference, a great time to visit with producers from around Oklahoma. What are you hearing? What's on their minds about this year's crops and then kind of planning ahead for spring and summer?
Well, when we stay on the winter crops, we're excessively optimistic. Like I said, it probably couldn't have gone worse when we went through planting and everybody was delayed and we didn't really get anything in, and we look great. Where we start going into our summer crops, that's when we are a little hesitant right now because of all that moisture. So a lot of growers, especially conventionally tilled fields, are really soft, and growers are kind of looking at that forecast, seeing March approaching very quickly. And the other thing that we kind of got whiff of during the crops conference, is this is something that we were expecting, is that our seed availability for soybean this year, because of the low quality throughout the Midwest and really throughout the U.S., our seed quality might be a little lower this year. So we really like to caution growers, if they're thinking about growing soybeans, talk to those dealers, get that seed ordered, get it in, because we might be a little low on available seed, you know, on a drop of a hat, not like we were in previous years.
Well, we appreciate your time, and maybe we'll see you again in a couple weeks.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks a lot, Josh.